James McLeanis for Sheriff of Pinellas County. 6 HRS. So far that is 6 dead teens this year alone after being chased by Pinellas County deputies violating their own chase policy. When will the killing be stopped? Sheriff Gualtieri has a chase policy in place that prohibits police chases for property crimes, which includes vehicle thefts. This policy was specifically put into place to prevent car chase deaths. Yet, so far this year, 6 teens have been killed in horrific chase incidents involving the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and stolen vehicles. 3 drowned in one incident where deputies stood around and did not attempt to rescue, and now these 3 burned to death. Is that how Sheriff Gualtieri intends to end the car theft epidemic he claims is going on? Kill them all? Sheriff Gualtieri has 2 chase policies in place, the public policy where they state clearly they will not chase for property crimes, like stolen cars. Then there is the secret policy where they continue to chase, but don't call it a chase because the PCSO deputies are told not to turn on their blue emergency lights while chasing these suspects. Same high speeds, same roads, same results, but without the police blue lights to warn people that a chase is taking place or to inform those being chased that it is a cop chasing them. Without these blue emergency lights, there is no duty for these kids or anyone else to pull over. How is having PCSO deputies chasing people without actually using their safety equipment supposed to prevent deaths like these? It isn't. Sheriff Gualtieri's secret chase policy of chasing people for stolen cars in violation of the public policy resulted in the deaths of 6 teens so far this year and dozens more over that last 15 years. Sheriff Gualtieri is responsible for these deaths and needs to be removed from office. James McLeanis for Pinellas County Sheriff in 2020.
You guys ready? Yeah. All right. So I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. This is unfortunately, a continuation of the prolific and epidemic incidents of juveniles engaging in the deadly game of auto burglaries and auto thefts that we've been seeing for the last 18 months or so. Remember last year we had a situation in St. Petersburg where we had 3 young girls who were fleeing from police in a stolen car and drowned in the pond in St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, this morning, behind me here on the west side of Tampa Road across US 19, we have 3 dead young black males as a result of them stealing cars, engaging in car burglaries, and running from the police. So what happened in this particular situation, which again is just a continuation of this ongoing unfortunate activity by these young people. The Tampa Bay Times did a pretty extensive article on it several weeks ago, and other media's reported on this. And what happened here in this particular incident, there are young black males, and I'm not going to identify them at this point because next of kin have not been notified. But I can tell you that they all have extremely extensive criminal histories. Some were released from jail as recently as a couple days ago. And they are what we would call prolific offenders, and kids that have been in and out of the system multiple times. They are being monitored by our habitual offender monitoring and enforcement, or HOME program. And these were kids that a few days ago on August 3rd stole 2 cars from a car lot on Missouri Avenue in Clearwater. By what we know right now, they've probably been driving the cars around for the last couple of days engaging in burglaries. At about 1 o'clock this morning, the Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy saw the car, which is a black Ford Explorer, at 580 and Belcher Road, pulling into the Chevron station. The deputy tried to stop the car because he knew the car was stolen. It's on a hot list that we have of stolen vehicles, and the vehicle fled. The deputy did not pursue the vehicle and lost sight of it. A couple hours later, at about 4 o'clock this morning, near the McDonald's on East Lake Road, north of Tampa Road, another deputy saw the black Ford Explorer and also a Chrysler Sebring, which is also stolen. And in tandem, they went into the East Lake Woodlands housing community subdivision here in Oldsmar. Because of knowing that both of the vehicles were stolen, and because of the history and the pattern and what we know these kids do in these stolen cars. They go into these residential areas and they commit a plethora of burglaries. And in the last few nights, we've had a plethora of burglaries here in the North End, probably attributable to these kids. And deputies set up a perimeter, locked down the entire East Lake Woodland subdivision the best they could. The helicopter was up, and they tried to find both stolen cars, the Explorer and the Chrysler Sebring, inside East Lake Woodlands. They were unable to find it. As they broke down the perimeter, one of the deputies was traveling westbound on Tampa Road and saw both vehicles. The vehicles were engaged in what I'll characterize as a cat and mouse game. They were accelerating fast, slowing down, accelerating, slowing down. They got to Lake St. George, and at the intersection, which is just east of where we are right now, on Tampa Road, the Sebring slowed down considerably, and then the Explorer sped up considerably, probably at speeds that exceed well over 100 miles an hour. The Explorer continued westbound. At that point, the deputy who was behind him turned around and was traveling eastbound because he was letting the Explorer go, and he was going to come back in behind the Sebring. So the deputy was going eastbound, the Explorer was going westbound. When he got here to the intersection of Tampa Road and US 19, is that it struck a car that was traveling northbound in the northbound lane. So the car you see over my shoulder here to the north and to the west is an uninvolved citizen's car that was struck by the Explorer as they most likely ran the red light going westbound here on Tampa Road. The vehicle went airborne, and the car lot you see over my shoulder here on the northwest corner, there were several cars there. All the damage to the front end of those cars caused by the Explorer. It was airborne, slammed into those cars. You see the pole for the billboard there. The car hit the billboard and then spun off the billboard and hit several other cars and fixed objects that were in the roadway. The car was literally spinning and rolling as it went down Tampa Road. It burst into flames. There are 3 deceased males there, 2 inside the car. 1 was ejected on the roadway, and a 4th one that was taken to Bayfront Medical Center, and he's still alive. Deputies were able to find the Sebring at Sunset Point Road in Keene and Clearwater, and we have 2 black males that are in custody as a result of deputies apprehending them in that stolen car. This happened all at about 4:30 this morning. Still a very fluid, ongoing investigation. We'll be working to piece the rest of it together and look to see what criminal charges are appropriate for the 2 who are in custody now, potentially the one at Bayfront if he makes it. We will be working to fully identify these boys and make notifications of next of kin. I can't stress it enough, is that this is a sad situation. It's a terrible situation, and somehow it's got to stop. But I can tell you that law enforcement in this county is doing everything we can possibly do to curb this behavior. Is that we have put together task forces, we've engaged the community, we have a violent crime task force that's focused on stolen cars, we have the habitual offender monitoring enforcement program, which every law enforcement agency in the county is participating in. We started with case managers and navigators to try and reach the families of these kids to engage them in services. And it comes a point where there's only so much you can do. And these kids who are these 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are wreaking havoc, engaging in high recidivism, repeated criminal behavior, where they're churning in and out of the juvenile justice system, is got to stop. And we have to keep the pressure on and keep doing what we're doing. But there has to be some responsibility also by the kids themselves and by their families to get a hold of them. You can't have a kid that gets out of jail. One of them got released from the juvenile detention center on July 31st. Steals his car on August 3rd, and this morning he's dead. So this is a big problem, and we will continue to work to curb it, eliminate it, stop it, but others also need to take some responsibility in this. There's very limited information in addition to what I've already given you. We'll probably, once we have more, hold a press conference later this afternoon or tomorrow. It depends upon how all this evolves and the information we have. I'm happy to answer any limited questions, but it's pretty much what I gave you is what I'm going to stick with.
At the time that they were traveling westbound, right before the accident, was the deputy who was behind it, were they following at a distance? Were they close with their lights on? What were they doing?
Yeah, the deputies weren't even engaged at all at that point, and there is video. We do have video, and wasn't a deputy in proximity at all. In fact, the video shows no cruisers, no lights, no anything that could even be seen. So the deputy that was behind the Explorer had already turned around and made a U-turn and was going eastbound as the Explorer continued, like I said, well in excess of 100 miles an hour westbound. So when he busted the intersection here and blew through it and hit the citizen's car, the deputy was not chasing him, the deputy was not behind him, and was in fact, you can hear it on the radio in conjunction with the video, is that when the crash is called out, the deputy was actually traveling the opposite direction, eastbound, probably about a mile to the east of here.
Were there any injuries to the civilian here?
Yeah, he was injured, but minor injuries. He's at East Countryside. He's going to be fine, more sore than anything else, but no life-threatening injuries.
Can you release his name at this point?
Not going to release any names at this point until we'll release everything at the right time. We're going to do it all at once.
Where did the video come from?
There's a whole host of video, of dash cam video from the cruisers, helicopter video, and there's a significant number of businesses around here that have video as well.
Was the helicopter monitoring this car when it caused the crash?
I can't answer that. The helicopter was focused more on the Sebring, but was the video in the helicopter that we now have, that we didn't have a year and a half ago, that we now have, is the crash or any portion of what the Explorer doing captured by the helicopter video? I don't know the answer to that. We need to look at it, review it, and we'll let you know once we do that.
How long do you think that the intersection here, and I know it goes all the way to Nebraska on US 19, when can people that live in the area or going to be traveling in the area expect it to open up?
It's going to be several hours. I would anticipate, in an abundance of caution, I would plan on early this afternoon before it gets opened again. You know, the scene is still very active.
Sheriff, what message would you guys like to send to teens that are out there thinking this is fun games?
Stop it. Stop doing what you're doing, and take responsibility for your actions. This is not a game. This is deadly. And if you remember, and when the Tampa Bay Times did the story, the extensive story on it, and one of the videos they had on their website that we gave them was this exact same scenario that wasn't deadly, and it was kids who stole a car up here in Eastlake. They were driving southbound of McMullen Booth, going southbound in the northbound lanes of the Bayside Bridge, and they could have easily hit head on. They could have had an exact replica of this. This scenario plays out daily throughout Pinellas County. The only difference between what didn't happen yesterday and the day before that and the day before that is they didn't roll, hit a car, and get killed. But this is happening every single day. And these kids need to know it's a deadly game. When you have 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are dying because of their actions, it needs to stop. And this is a deadly game. This little, and it is a game that they're playing by going out and committing these car burglaries and auto thefts. One of the kids, one of the deceased kids that's sitting in that car across the street still has gloves on his hands from doing the car burglaries. You know, is that they think it's a game. And they think that they're Teflon. They think that they're not going to get hurt by this. They think they're not going to get caught. Getting caught's one thing. But and over there across the street, there's, I don't know, probably 8, 10, 12, a dozen cell phones strewn about the road because they've been out there ripping people's stuff off. They're dying because they're ripping people's stuff off and then they run from the cops. The parents need to engage too. We cannot do it all. And we can't be responsible for these kids. We can enforce the law and we can try to suppress the criminal activity. But when you got a kid, literally, and you'll see it when we do the next press event on this, you got a kid that's got a criminal history that's this long, and he got out of the juvenile detention center 4 days ago, and then he's stealing cars and running from the cops and doing this. This isn't all on us. The families, the caregivers, parents. Where was this kid at 4 o'clock in the morning? Where are these 14 and 15-year-olds at 4 o'clock in the morning? Their parents know where they are? Somebody needs to start taking control of their kids.
Are you planning on releasing any portion of that video? I know you're...
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We need to get it all together first, and then we'll make a decision on it. But again, it's all fluid. We don't even have all of the video collected yet. There's still a lot of it that they're actually working on right now as we speak to collect. So once we have it all, we will put it all together, and probably at some point we will. I just can't tell you exactly when because, again, it's still a very active investigation.
How many deputies were following the cars? Was it just one, or
There was one primarily. There was another one that was in proximity, but it was primarily one. And again, he had turned around. It was going eastbound at that point. There might have been another one that was in the general area, what we know right now, but again, we're still trying to flush everything out. But at the most, there were two.
I may have missed it, and I know you said the other stolen car was apprehended. Were they together and both being pursued by the same deputy?
Yeah, absolutely. They were, and again, I've seen the video of it, is they were coming westbound on Tampa Road, and you got the Chrysler Sebring and the Explorer, and they were side by side playing cat and mouse games. And then the Sebring slowed down, and then the Explorer got in front of it, and they were speeding up, slowing down, and they were definitely together. And they were both those cars were stolen at about 10 minutes of 1 on August 3rd from a car lot, Platinum Plus Autos on South Missouri Avenue in Clearwater. So both cars stolen at the same time, and with all these kids. So they've been running in tandem for the last couple of days since they stole these cars, out here committing car burglaries and probably stealing other cars.
My question then is, did the Sebring witness what happened to, I guess, their friends?
No, because then what happened after that is that the Explorer, the Sebring slowed way down. And once the deputies got in behind the Sebring slowed way down, probably about 30 miles an hour. The Explorer was doing well over 100 when it blew through the intersection here and crashed, and it had already caught fire and was several hundred yards down Tampa Road to the west. As the deputies and the helicopter were behind the Sebring came up and then blew the red light here itself, probably about 60 miles an hour when it blew through the intersection here, went south on US 19, and then just took evasive action until they stopped at Sunset Point Road in Keene. They bailed out. There was a foot chase, and deputies were able to take them into custody there. Whether they saw the fire, whether they saw the flame, I don't know. But they were not here at the intersection when the first point of impact occurred.
Is it the sheriff's office policy not to pursue in that sort of situation?
Right.
Like, why did they not give chase when they had two stolen cars in front?
Correct, because we don't pursue stolen cars. Everybody knows that. We put that out, and it just goes to show that regardless of what we do, people are going to engage in this type of conduct, and they're going to engage in this type of driving and this reckless driving and this disregard for human life, regardless of what we do. And we don't want to be the cause of it. And so we have a policy that we don't chase stolen cars. The deputies were not chasing, and they did it anyway. So, and they were driving this way, and we know this because we see it. They drive this way regardless of whether we're around or not. This is what they do. This is the game that's played. It's steal cars, drive at 100 miles an hour, drive recklessly, endanger people, and fortunately, I guess for them, in a lot of the cases, they don't wreck like this and get killed. And this is one of the times where it went bad for them. But they're out all night doing this. I mean, the first time we engaged them was 1 o'clock in the morning. Then we engage them again at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're doing the same thing. So this is a game to them. It's driving around, seeing how much of other people's stuff they can rip off, how much they can get for their loot for the night, and then go home 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, sleep, get up, and do it all over again.
How did they get into the two cars at the car lot?
They broke into the business and took the keys.
So there were 6 juveniles involved in total, 4 in the car here and 2 that...
Correct, 6.
And you're anticipating charges against just 2 of them or all 3 of them?
We're looking at it all right now. It's
Okay.
too early to make a determination on that. We're looking at all possibilities as far as criminal charges are concerned. And I believe, and we'll do everything we can to establish and prove criminal charges because there needs to be accountability for this. These kids have got to stop this.
You said that there will likely be charges against that 4 juveniles who survived that crash.
Like I said, we're going to look at it.
Okay.
You know, if we can establish probable cause, we'll make an arrest. I believe they should be charged. The question is there an offense that fits, and is there probable cause for it? If there is, we'll charge them. And I believe they should be charged. But we got to work within the law. We got to evaluate the facts and the evidence, and then we'll make a decision. Okay. All right, so we'll get back with you later on. Like I said, I don't know whether it'll be later on today. It all depends upon how things go the rest of the day. But once the next of kin notifications are made, at least we'll get the names and more specific information out. And it'll be either later today or tomorrow. We'll be able to give you more details. All right.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done...
for life hating so much.
Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So But getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal. And there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that's that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know what, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, now we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, it's, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now. Where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers. That is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.